I'm taking my own advice from a few weeks ago when I said that I was going to get out this winter regardless of the weather. There's a storm given down for this evening. It's going to be like 50km/h winds, but for now the wind it's all right. It's raining a little bit, not too much, but yeah, I just said I needed to get out. I haven't really been out much this week because of work and all that, and because of the weather. So yeah, I'm just taking my own advice and getting out regardless. This is the hawthorn, and these red berries are called haws. They're actually edible, but the seeds on the insides of them, if you can see it here, just in there, contain cyanide. So if you don't take out the seeds out of the berries, you're going to poison yourself and potentially die. But apparently the seeds are used to make jams and stuff like that, which is really cool. Didn't know that before. I think these are called snowberries, so they're native to North America, but were introduced to Ireland. They are not edible. Apparently they're mildly toxic, so you will get sick if you eat them. Apparently, not too sure. So recently the hikes and trails that I've been doing have been a lot easier than usual, so less of an incline, a lot less strenuous than I would be accustomed to. And I've been walking them as well instead of running like I would normally do. There's a couple of reasons for this. The weather's just not been great, so I prefer to do kind of lowland stuff than going up too high in the mountains while there's a lot of wind and rain, especially after my ordeal in the Conmara Mountains. I'm a little bit nervous to be going back into something so hard or something so technical. But the main reason for me not running and walking on easier trails lately is because I've picked up a lot of injuries. So it started with my knee, and now there's like a tendon thing happening. So I'm being super careful. I just want to make it 100% better instead of just allowing it to get like 20% better and then trying running on it again and making it 10 times worse. Like any runner, I was overdoing it while I had an injury. But one thing I found since I have been taking the trails a lot slower is that I've more time to look at the plants and animals around me. So I've taken a bit of an interest in foraging, not necessarily foraging to eat stuff, but just figuring out what's edible and what's not. So I've been looking up a lot of stuff. I've been having a look at all the different plants and stuff, and it's really interesting. And I was actually shocked to see just how many things you can eat. Obviously you have to be really careful with these kind of things, especially if you're not sure. You'd err on the side of caution and not eat it. But yeah, it's really interesting to learn, especially since I'm an absolute fiend for eating blueberries and blackberries when I'm out running. I just love them as a trail snack. So the more things I can find that I can eat as a trail snack, the better. It might be too dark to actually see, but this is a birch tree. Apparently you can eat most of that. Now this is a young one, so I'm not sure whether they have to be more mature or not. But apparently they were very commonly ate when there's famine, because it's just a huge tree that's growing in many forests. Apparently you can eat the twigs of it, you can put it in tea, you can eat the leaves when they're young, you can eat the bark. I just want to do a disclaimer here and say that I know close to nothing about foraging, so please do not take anything I say as truth, because it could be completely wrong and you're doing so at your own risk, because you could get poisoned very easily if you eat the wrong thing. So I'm not an expert, don't listen to me. I'm just doing my own thing here. Apparently these little things here are called Gelder rose, or the plant itself is called Gelder rose, and these are the berries it has. They are mildly toxic if consumed in high quantities, but people still use them to make jams apparently. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger, I guess, I don't know. This right here, I think, is a Scots pine. So apparently you can use the needles to make tea. And I think you can eat the seeds out of the pine cones. I guess they'd be called pine nuts. I'm not sure about that one, because I know there's more than one type of pine tree. I'm not sure. Again, I'm not an expert. This here is rose hip. So that is edible, but apparently it has to be prepared properly in order for those little hairs not to irritate you. But apparently that's really high in vitamin C, so very good for you, supposedly. I've never tried it. I will try all these some days, but now I just want to get used to actually identifying them and seeing what is there. And then eventually, once I become more confident with it, I will actually venture out and eat them. For now, I'll stick to the blackberries and the blueberries. Although I think what I've been calling blueberries are actually bilberries. Someone who commented on one of my videos corrected me there. And I also looked it up and it appears that they are bilberries. Oh, that was so good, super ripe. There's not many of them left. The birds have taken the good ones and the others are starting to rot, but so delicious. This is Kurichase house. So this place actually has a really interesting history. The whole of this land is called Kurichase. It was a Cromwellian plantation given to the De Vere family back in like the 1700s or something like that. They owned it for around 300 years, and apparently this place is haunted. There was so much poltergeist activity that apparently Mrs. De Vere called in her father, who was a bishop, and he did an exorcism on the house. Now apparently there's no evil spirits in here, they were all good and all that, but really, really creepy. This place is actually a shell on the inside as far as I know, because in the 1940s, if I'm correct, it burnt down. Apparently there was a fire in the library. Supposedly there was some paranormal activity going on there as well, that there was some bell ringing in the library when it burnt down, but they think it was just a stray ember from the fire that was lit that night. So it completely burnt down. The fire brigade got lost on the way here, and the pond or lake down below was too far away for their hoses to reach, so it just completely burnt down. And now, yeah, it's just a shell. I'd love to be able to take a look inside just to see what it looks like. Okay, this place is starting to give me the creeps just a little bit. I know it's all in my head, there's nothing actually there, but when I start telling those stories, my mind starts to play tricks and I hear branches and leaves dropping off the trees, and it's really creepy, so. There's another story that involves this lake. So apparently, every so often, they used to see a woman gliding across the lake. I don't know who it was meant to be the ghost of, but it's kind of creepy. I don't even think I believe in ghosts, but when I think about it, yeah, again, my mind plays tricks on me. Apparently they used to see a little boy inside the house as well, which, as we know, anything to do with little kid ghosts in films never works out. Very interesting place though. Very, very pretty as well, which makes up for all the paranormal activity, I guess. One of the major benefits I see to taking the trails a little bit more slowly and not running is that you can take a lot more time to just explore, and you learn a lot more about where you are and what's around you. So that's one thing I've been really enjoying lately. That being said, I cannot wait until I'm able to challenge myself again. And I cannot wait to start running again. Like, I love running with a passion. There's just something about the freedom that you feel when you're running, especially out on the trails in the middle of a mountain. So yeah, I'm loving exploring, but don't get me wrong, I miss running big time. The temptation to run back to the car right now is real. It's getting a little bit dark. The woods are spooky in the dark, and I have frightened myself with my own ghost stories.